Angeles. Welcome to Good Morning La La Land. I'm Dr. Erin.
Hi, I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jessamine Moyer. This is Good Morning La La Land, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Now also available on Apple TV, Roku, and Twitch.
And it's hashtag Friday Feeling. It's all about dating, love, and relationship. We're going to have a great debate about love versus relationships versus partnerships, apparently, instead of agreements. So we come together to know the truth, live on spiritual principle, have some fun, and have lots of coffee again.
That's
like
right.
we said yesterday.
We're going to chop it up, drink it down.
I've got the Friday feels today. I do. We started out a little funky.
Yes.
I'm digging the vibes, and I'm so excited to welcome to the show our very special guest this morning. Good morning, everybody back in the studio. We're so excited you're here with us today. Hello, hello. We have got Dr. Sherry Campbell. She has got the mic. She is a world-renowned clinical psychologist, international speaker, and she is breaking down self-love and happiness today. How are you, Dr. Sherry?
I'm doing great this morning. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you for being here. So on Good Morning La La Land, you know the routine. We like to know, how do you start your day? What's your morning routine?
Well, I live one word a day. And I put that word on my mirror every morning, and I try to live that word through the essence throughout my day. I see about 10 patients every day. My word today is abundance, so I will try to bring that word into every part of my life, and then I get my baby girl off to school.
Oh, one, we love baby girls, and two, we love abundance.
We love abundance.
She's the cutest thing ever.
Erin preaches on abundance about 4 or 5 times a week. So that is amazing. You are so on the same page with you. Thank you so much for being here with us. Susan's with us in the house. She is unifying commerce and making the whole world shoppable.
Hi, everyone. Glad to be here.
We're excited you're here. How do you start your day now that you're making the world shoppable?
I tried to deal with the traffic to get here, which I was not expected because I'm coming from Bay Area, but everything else is great. I'm gonna have a great day, hopefully today, starting on the right foot.
That's right.
Thanks.
We're going to set the intention that it's going to be a good day, right?
Absolutely.
We received that. We received that. Reka Beauty is in the house. She's a friend of Vicky Poppet. Special thanks to Plantogram. Hey, Plantogram. We love them. We love you. And I love a good turmeric peel.
Turmeric peel.
Turmeric peel. Yes. The first ever in the world. Congratulations.
Thank
Super
you so
exciting.
much. I'm super, super excited to be here. I flew in from Austin just to be here because I've heard amazing things. So yeah, I start my day, it's kind of boring, but I love to get to my emails. And that's
to your
the
emails?
first thing I do. Yes, I open
Good
up
for
my
you.
emails.
Good
And that
for you.
lets me know what I need to plan for the day. Like if there's extra, things I gotta email back or whatever, just helps me kind of plan it. So I guess that's my purpose of the day.
We love that. Hey, to each their own. I'm overwhelmed by my emails, but I'm glad you celebrate them.
Absolutely.
Yes, I like to know, even if it's negative, then it's like I don't have to wonder, so I love it.
Ooh, a woman who appreciates clarity.
I like that.
I like that too. The great love debate is in the house. What a perfect guest to have here on hashtag Friday Feels and Good Morning La La Land. Welcome to the show, Brian Howie. How are you today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Are you feeling the Friday vibes?
I think. I forgot to check my emails, so maybe, I don't know. I don't know about
Well,
that.
I hope you're ready because Dr. Erin wants to have the great love debate with you today. And I don't know if you caught at Rob Mack Official stories, his IG stories today, but it was all about you.
All about you.
Well, your conversation, your expertise, rather. So how do you start your day? What's your morning routine?
Well, despite living on the West Coast for 14 years, I kind of operate on East Coast time, which means I get up very early, and I always try and make sure I am outside when the sun comes up, and that's sort of an energetic thing. It's sort of an awakening thing, and it makes me feel good to do that. Now, it's a little easier to do on the West Coast. It's warmer. It would be harder to do, I think, if I lived in Detroit and it was 5 below. I don't think I'd be that ambitious, but that's what I do. I like to get up and walk and be outside when the sun comes up.
Oh, I love that.
Man.
There you go.
I want to try that.
Get kind of tired on the back end, but gotta work it out.
If I've ever seen the sun come up, it's only by pure accident. I will be completely honest. Welcome to the show, Harry Howard. We love Mr. Harry Howard. He's part of the Focus TV family here. He's got a show, Harry Howard Talks. How are you today, Harry?
I am on top of the world.
Are you?
Because of that introduction you gave me.
Oh, well, we wouldn't be here if it weren't for you and the synergy that you brought to our community. So thank you so much again for sharing your time with us. How do you start your day? What's your morning routine?
I check my Instagram first, and I look at how many views I had, and I also see who watched my story.
There you go.
Somebody's so honest.
And I'm not a narcissist, I promise. It's for business. Business only.
Love the honesty, Harry.
I am.
But I'm sure you look for a girl or two. Did she see that? Who's watching?
Oh yeah, definitely. I keep scrolling down. My mom watches everything. It says Maggie Howard at the top, no matter
what.
what.
Scroll down for her. She's always right at the top.
It's always right at the top for some reason. My mom is. Represents my childhood.
That's a Jewish mother for you. Well, thank you so much for being with us. We're so excited that you're all here. We're looking forward to talking to you more later in the show.
Awesome. Love Harry.
I love Harry.
Hilarious.
So much. Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay, so I don't know what the deal is.
Yeah.
But I have been on this keto thing for it's been like a month and a half now?
Yeah, you've been on it for a while.
So before I started this keto thing, my sleep was like A+. I would say A+.
Yeah.
It's been all over the board.
Has it really?
I think I need less sleep, but then I don't know what the deal is. So I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
Ready to go.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you go to bed at 10 o'clock.
bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
4 hours of sleep. So that's not normal for me.
So what did you do? Did you go back to sleep? Or?
No, I
just
worked and
just hung out and
and I'm like, okay. And I was like, well, I'm really not that tired this morning. Actually, it's weird.
Wow, that's great. So have you discovered that you have more energy even though you're sleeping less?
It's different energy. It's not like the high and low of before. I think that's like the difference. It's a little bit just more steady, and I have no idea.
That's great. So you don't get the spikes. 'Cause it's the spikes apparently that are, kind of unhealthy.
Yeah, I have no idea, but this is bizarre. I'm doing a little experiment. Let's just say that.
I love that you're trying it out for us. I'm going to see what happens to you, and then I'll decide whether or not to follow in kind. Yeah. That's awesome. How was your night, Jess?
My night was so good. It was an absolute honor to celebrate 40 years of Ron Robinson. He was a guest on our show, and he is part of the genius behind the Fred Siegel brand, obviously the Ron Robinson store. And after 40 years, he's got this commemorative book, a collection he's selling for $19.78, the year in which he opened the store. And all the proceeds of this book, which is full of just like amazing images from the celebrities that went in there, history, loyalty, all of the proceeds are being donated for the California wildfires.
Wow.
He is a gem.
He is.
Such a gem. I mean, literally, he has been the trendsetter, the man who's created the lifestyle, fashion culture of Los Angeles for 40 years.
It's unbelievable.
He's a legend.
Yeah, and he's just a great guy. He's so relatable, so easy to talk to, brilliant, obviously, incredible fashion sense, but just a great guy.
Such a great guy, such a huge heart. So thank you, Ron, for being a part of our community and always welcoming us into yours and creating the amazing culture that we know LA to be today.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that was super special. And I also was at the Artist Project yesterday. Special shout out for that. That was so fun. You can see some of the BTS on my Insta stories at Jeslyn. And I got to do some really fun photo shoots. I did a podcast with Lauren Francesca, who also has a show here at Focus TV. And it was super fun just to be in a community of artists supporting artists and giving back.
Love that, Jess.
Yeah, really cool.
Always get your finger on the pulse of LA. I just love it. Thank God for you, Jess.
Yeah, I'm a California girl.
How would you, Bob?
Well, we're celebrating the life of Shakti Gawan, who was one of the co-founders of New World Library. That's my publishing company. She made her transition yesterday, so celebrating her life. Other than that, did a few podcast clients, ease into Friday.
What would you say was, your biggest lesson from her?
From Shakti? One of the first books that I ever read when I sort of discovered that I was on this spiritual journey was creative visualization, and it made an impact on my life because I suddenly discovered the ways in which I wasn't as intentional about creating my life and the ways that I could be. So I would say that was my introduction to her, and then just my experience at New World Library was so incredible. They're such great people. They publish some of the best authors on the planet, Eckhart Tolle and Bernie Siegel and all these folks. So
Rob Mac official.
Rob Mac official, holla. But it was just it's incredible. I think. And I joke all the time with my friends because I think it's dead authors who have been my best friends for the longest time in my life. So, much appreciation and love to Shakti.
Well, relationships are eternal, so yes,
all day.
And we're glad that wisdom continues to live and shine through you and all your wonderful tweetable quotes you share with us all the time.
Oh, you a check or two or a three? I love you.
Just a free life coach session, Ron. No big deal.
So
awesome.
Speaking of, your IG stories have been on point. I'm loving that one. And so right after Rewind, because we want to take a look at yesterday's show, but I want to talk about your IG stories
Okay.
about love and relationships and have the great debate. I guess we're not going to rewind, so let's debate this.
Let's debate
it. So you had on your IG story, and you're doing like this cut thing. So you do this whole video and then you cut it out and it goes on your IG, and it's so well done. And you were talking about love, and I was like, oh gosh, I love the metaphysics of relationship, and we agree on so much around all this. So. So tell us a little bit about your take of relationships.
Yeah, so I would say that a major problem in the world is that everybody is waiting for the world or somebody in the world to accept them and love them before they accept and love themselves. That is a bottom line, sort of around it. And when you don't do sort of deeply, truly, fully, authentically love yourself, it's impossible to give love in a way that doesn't come with an expectation of reciprocity or reward, and it doesn't come with strings attached. And it's also impossible to receive love fully, deeply, truly, and authentically without the same expectation, right? So you don't trust the love that people give to you, and so therefore you can't accept it. So self-love for me is really the essence and core of being happy. That being said, there's a bit of I guess we call it a compassionate concession, where we say, oh, I love myself. But I and myself, it makes it sound like there are two different people, but there's just one of us, right? And so even the idea that we have a relationship with ourselves is somewhat misguided. We don't have a relationship with ourselves as much as we can just simply be ourselves. And so there's part of this self-love thing that isn't about just thinking your way there, but dropping the thoughts and just sinking down into the love and the bliss and the peace and the happiness that you already are.
So true. I say this quite often. I was in a very dysfunctional relationship years ago, and it was so miraculous because the same time I was going through this kind of what I consider a classroom of life, I called in who I would consider one of the most advanced spiritual teachers who's transitioned since then at the exact same time. And so I was like, okay, obviously this like classroom of what it means to go through that place. Sometimes finding self-love looks like having to go through a very dysfunctional relationship. And so I was sitting in the middle of this terrible relationship, and great because it taught so much, and I was having these lessons. And I just remember making the distinctions of what is love, what is a relationship versus what is really agreement or partnership.
Beautiful.
And knowing that love is just love. Love just is. There's nothing like, no one has to do anything. There's no expectations. There's no rules to love. There's no bounds to love. There's no whatever. And then getting like, so what is a relationship? And a relationship is really how we relate to what is occurring or not occurring, and how, and that is really the dance of how do we relate with this person and where they belong in our life. And then agreements are a whole other, that's like a complex, like partnership, relationship, what do you want to call it, and that's a whole agreement. It comes with cultural expectations and whatever that is. And so for me, I think it's the most important conversation we can have.
It is.
Because the relationship really obviously is with thyself, and then all other relationships are the projection and reflection of what's going on. And so I just love this.
But you guys are speaking to the most advanced version in concept that's understood about love. For most people, and for me even very recently, love came with a lot of heartache, a lot of disappointment, a lot of expectations, because there were definitions, there were boundaries, there was society's expectations, right?
Yeah.
Including my own, around the word love, around relationships or partnerships or agreements. And I think so many of us just become disappointed, and then in that disappointment, without receiving the love that becomes the validation for ourselves, we feel empty inside.
Yeah. The universe is definitely agreeing with you.
Yes! On fire right now. I'm on fire right now.
Yes!
So, well, you're absolutely right in speaking and understanding your truth. So many people, and the vast majority of us, aren't there yet, don't have that great understanding, and they're looking for that outside of themselves. So,
well, at the end, you just nailed it. But you just nailed it, because that's the challenge and the opportunity right there is outsourcing what you feel or what you think or what you want to think or feel to other people or to the world.
But how do you successfully handle that when you're within the boundaries or confines of a traditional relationship or marriage? No, but really, because it's like, I think, Erin mentioned it being an interesting dance, but how do you not seek that from the other person? And how do you, as the partner, lovingly say, hey, you've got to love on yourself, because I can't give you what you're looking for. I still love you and I still want to be with you. Is that possible?
Well, yeah, I want to hear what Dr. Erin has to say.
I just remember one distinction that my mentor told me, and I was like, what? And it was that we're such powerful spiritual beings that the minute that we assign somebody as our joy, we instantaneously assign them as our suffering.
Yeah.
But you can't have one without the other.
Yeah.
So you can, obviously, there's agreements and there's things. It's not like, oh, I never am going to rely on you for anything because now I'm so in line that whatever, we're still human here. And those are agreements and those are separate things. But I think that there's an agreement of going, I have to find that love and that source of joy within before I can even potentially not have so much attachment to it out there.
You just nailed it. You have to spend time alone. You have to spend time alone, and you have to begin to learn how you can enjoy your aloneness, and that eliminates the loneliness when you begin to enjoy your aloneness. So that's essentially the practice of meditation or contemplative prayer. That's the practice of just spending time enjoying yourself. That's the primary way. Once you discover that the source of peace, love, and happiness that you're searching for in the world exists within you, you no longer search for it or seek it in other people. That doesn't mean that you don't have moments when you want to, or that you miss, or that you still pursue this sort of dyslexic search for love. But at the end of the day, it just takes one experience of really tapping into the love that exists inside of you to realize that it doesn't exist in other people. They're just an excuse or an invitation or opportunity for you to share the love that you already are.
But we're still human, let's face it. We know these truths, but to live them are very different. But I think we have an incredible expert in the back. I think he's interviewed, thousands of people as far as been in the conversation with him about the great love debate. Now, I don't know if there's anything to debate about love, but definitely about relationships, for sure.
When you said that's one of the challenges, though, I think people prioritize relationships above love, and that's part of the problem. I don't need to love. I don't need to be in a relationship to love anyone. In fact, that's, in some ways, it can prevent me from loving them fully. So I see myself in relationship to everybody I meet, whoever's in front of me. Isn't that true?
You're one of my best friends.
But that's just through pain.
I know.
Learn everything through pain.
No. Let's take a break. When we come back, we will have the great debate. Stay tuned.
And I am a woman warrior. As a little girl, my joints got swollen. I was walking on crutches. Nobody really knew what was wrong with me. And when we finally figured out that I had juvenile rheumatoid arthritis, it was pretty hard to learn that I had an autoimmune disease because there's no cure. Back then, it was so expensive to get treatment. My family didn't have a lot of money. My joints would get swollen and I would have to get them drained. Imagine sticking needles in your knees and draining all the fluid just so that you can move around. I've been picked on my entire life. And my mom always taught me what other people think about you is their problem, not yours. It was just something within that I've always wanted to do my best no matter what. And I think that came from having this disease and knowing that there was no cure. And so you take one weakness or sickness and you turn it into something positive and you just learn, don't complain, just find a solution.
Hi, I'm Courtney Friel, and I am a woman warrior. I don't really like feelings too much, and that's why I discovered alcohol and drugs, because I could just escape those feelings, and that made me feel better. It was right around the time when all the celebrities were dying, Heath Ledger, DJ, they were just mixing a bunch of different things. Ultimately, I was intervention with 7 people around my bed. I was sobbing in the green room closet in between shows recently because I was lonely. 4 years ago, I went through a divorce and I had to see who I was as an adult outside of a relationship, and that's challenging. And so it's something I still struggle with. I have to keep going. I've got 2 little kids that I tell Cash and Cameron, and that is other people's problems with you are their problems. They're not your problems.
I'm Megan Henderson, and I'm a woman warrior. My dad's cancer process was not very long, so I would fly back on weekends to be with him, and I would spend all day, morning to night, in the hospital with him. Seeing him that way, seeing him so vulnerable, seeing your dad that way, it was, really hard and really shocking in some ways, but it was also sort of this quiet bonding moment that we had. He was able kind of for the first time to let me show my strength with him. It's been many, many, many years since he's passed, but of course, I think about him all the time, and especially in those big moments. It's like he never got to see the woman I became. And I think he would have been surprised in some ways at the woman I became. If I could say one more thing to my father, it would be, I think, the mantra that I try to say every day, which are those 2 words, thank you.
I'm Christina Pascucci, and I am a woman warrior. One of the most painful moments I had to endure was when I was 10 years old and someone that I really loved deeply and trusted was facing an addiction and had a lot of demons and was on a drug-fueled rampage and attacked me. And as painful as that was, that for me was a defining moment. I am grateful for it. It's really made me appreciate people and have compassion for them. I'm thinking about what their life journey has been like, what hardships have they gone through. If I see someone who's lashing out in pain, what's the story behind that? What's really pissing them off? And I don't think I would have had that life perspective or appreciation for humans to the extent that I do had I not been through what I went through.
Brian Howie is in the house. We're going to have a great love debate. You've got an extraordinary podcast, right? All about love, relationships, the debate. I'm sure it gets heated. Hot.
It gets feisty, it gets funny. You know, we have done 348 live shows all around the world, and we've done the podcast for about 3 or 4 years, and it's the conversation that keeps giving. There's a lot of ways to sort of slice this apple.
Brian, I'm wondering for you, what was the catalyst on wanting to create this global conversation, this love debate?
Curiosity, a little bit, my own curiosity, my own journey. About 5 years ago, I wrote a book that was semi-tongue-in-cheek called How to Find Love in 60 Seconds. And rather than sort of doing a book tour with a couple dozen people in a Barnes & Noble or something like that, my manager at the time had the idea to raise the questions that the book raised in sort of an open town hall style format. We were supposed to do 1, and then 3, and then 5, and 5 years, and 87 cities, and all over the place.
So tell us about when you have one of these events, what does it look like?
There's a couple hundred people in a theater or in a comedy club, depending on what the venue is. We have a handful of local personalities or celebrities on our stage, and the first question I ask the audience is the biggest challenge with love, dating, and relationships in 2018 in whatever city that is what? It goes up and it goes from there, and it goes in all sorts of directions. It's very interactive. It's town hall style.
What would you say the common answer is? What's
people tend to, the most common answer that they give is technology or social media or dating apps, and that's not the answer. That's the reaction to the actual answer, and the actual answer is that as men and women, there's sort of been this blurring of the traditional dating gender roles over the last 20 years. The women have gotten a little harder, the men have gotten a little softer, and the gap is the technology that we fill in. And so wherever we go, as I always say, the women want the men to try harder, and the men want the women to make it easier, and that's where we're at, no matter where we go.
That is so true. Recently dating as a single woman in LA, I've had several people say, do you want to do business, or did you want to have a relationship? Because you're coming in really strong.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough sometimes, and some women get offended when I say this, to sort of dial it back on the masculine energy after 6 o'clock or wherever on a date, and I'm not saying that everybody has to, but you have to understand that the men are not necessarily wired that way to have this sort of, you know, tete-a-tete of machismo going back and forth. And so it's a challenge everywhere we go.
Interesting. I think it's interesting, even the question that's asked. What is the problem with dating in today's world? It's like it really pulls up where consciousness is and what they're focusing on. And I would say that's the problem. So
yeah, I mean, it comes down to confidence and communication, no matter where we go. As I always say, it's never that you haven't met the right person yet. It's always that you haven't been the right person yet. And so once you sort of own your stuff and do the work and recognize what you need to do, that lets you let the walls down and lets other people in your world, and that leads to opportunities all over the place.
It's fantastic. What is love? How would you define love?
Well, I think that before you can find it, you need to define it for yourself, and everybody has their own personal definition of it, I think, or at least I think they should. My personal definition for me is when there's nothing I'm doing that I wouldn't rather be doing with her. Doesn't mean I have to do it with her, it means I'd rather do it with her. And when I feel that, that's very tangible to me, it means I know. Now, some people are like, I like that, but that's not quite my thing. It takes, you know, a little bit of work and a little bit of introspection to say, how do I know what it is for me, and how do I recognize it when it's present for me? And I think that's an individual conversation.
Warner Earhart had a brilliant conversation and discussion about relationships years ago, and he debated kind of that exact thing, like if we're basing it off of our feeling, a relationship, like feelings come and go, and like he's like, love is just love. There's, you know, there is no definition of what love is. It just is, because he goes, relationship is really taking a stand for whatever it is you are committed to creating with that person. Because I think I used to be that. I used to wait and go, I'm waiting for that feeling, and then you'd have that feeling, and then the feeling wouldn't stay. So I'm like, wait, is it that feeling, or what is that? And I think that so often we think we are our feelings, and we're not the feelings. They come and go. Feelings are not sustainable. So how do you know? How do you know if you have that feeling with somebody and you're like, I want to do everything with this person, but then what happens a few months later when you're just like, I kind of need a little space. I don't feel like I want to be around this person. So do
It's not necessarily about being around them physically. It's sort of having them in your heart and in your world and in your mind and all those kind of things in a way that makes you feel better. In a way that a lot of people are like, you need to get into a relationship. First, you need to have a moment. Then you need to have a connection. Then you need to work your way all up to sort of the end goal of that is partnership. And partnership is about communication, it is about growing, it is about change, it is about navigating up and downs, all these things. There's a lot of steps to it, and people forget that the first step really is the moment where a connection can happen. And there's 5 or 6 times every single day that you're going to be within 30 feet of somebody that if you just gave them the opportunity, and as I always say, get your head out of your apps, and connect with them, the spark can happen.
So it's presence, really.
It's being recognized of the opportunities around you every single day of your life that you can act on, recognize, and not dismiss, where love can happen anywhere, anytime, every city.
Right. Which is why I feel, and I want to hear your perspective, is why I feel that, you have to be able to practice that presence with whoever's in front of you in order for you to be even prepared to enter into a relationship in a way that's going to be fulfilling for you and the other person. Right?
Yeah, we're very, disconnected from each other now, and that we blame the technology, but somewhere along the line we all got a little bit confused about our place around each other. And so we need to sort of get back to being present in a moment, in an experience, or in a place where you can recognize all the people around you. Hi, guys.
What's the best way, do you think, for both men and women to recognize that love, to accept it, and then for it to last?
For it to last?
Yeah.
I think last you have to understand a lot of people spend a lot of time thinking about what they do not like, do not want, do not need. And when you do that, you're much less effective about communicating what you do want, what you do not. All of us sort of want to make each other happy. We want to make the relationship happy. We want to make things work. We're just not nearly as good as expressing what we like as what we don't like. A lot of Yelp reviews are negative because people like to get that out of there. Same thing in a partnership. We're really sort of reluctant to say affirmative things because we never know how they're going to be received. And that is the key to everything, is to continuously say, here's what I want, and in a playful, fun, encouraging fashion, put the bar right here, and we will all jump to sort of meet whatever we need.
It's a good point. It's impossible to have a happy relationship if you're consistently focusing on unhappy parts.
And it's tough to get in a new one when you're constantly, we do hear a lot of people come to our shows, they believe that I'm the only one this happened to. And over the course of, an hour and a half and a couple hundred people, you realize it's happened to everybody. We're all the same. We've had 48 couples get engaged that we know of just from meeting at one of these shows.
That's so cool.
Because we bring all the walls down over 90 minutes because we're all sort of in the same boat. Love is the one thing that we all can relate to, have experience with, and I think want.
How do you, so if people have different definitions of love, how do you get two people who have very different definitions and therefore perceive or misperceive the action or non-action of the other person in ways that they're both blind to? How do you get them on the same page?
I think, I don't even know if they have to get on the same page. They just need to be in the same book, which means that you have to eliminate whatever the barriers are to find the love for whatever they're doing, for themselves, for another person, for a situation, and break those down. What is it from preventing me from going from 1 date to 6 dates to 5 years to whatever? And the patterns need to break. If you consider, it's like, I only date this type of person, or this keeps happening to me, or whatever, it is probably you. I mean, almost, it's not that you have bad luck. And you need to take ownership for your own dating fates. There's lots of good men out there. There's lots of good women out there. And everywhere you go, and you need to recognize them.
And everywhere you've gone and all these conversations you've had, has there been an aha moment, something you learned that you maybe didn't expect or has had the biggest impact on you?
Yeah, I think I recognized my own sort of walled-offness. Is that a verb or whatever? I really didn't know when I started out a lot of times women think they understand women because they're a woman, and men think we understand men because we're a man. We don't. I really underestimated how many men were either angry or afraid of women because of something that may have happened 20 years ago. Like, she might just not even noticed you junior high or something like that. And that still manifests itself, and it's hard to recognize. So part of me had to take ownership of, what am I walling off? What am I blocking out? What are my things? And then I did realize, like, we all are sort of exactly the same. It's just how we deal with it and process it.
Completely. Human beings are fascinating when it comes to relationships, and I believe that they're really for healing, therefore also revealing what works for us and doesn't work for us, and also for birthing whatever it is we're bringing to the world, whether it be children or art or whatever. But I think that so many people are looking for relationships to fulfill their senses, to fulfill and complete them, and to do all these things. It's really not sustainable, and it's sad, you know, in my opinion, because a lot of people are very frustrated and seeking for something that just really they're never going to arrive to. Hence, you know, we have a lot of divorce rate, and then the people who are in relationship, a majority of those are not, you know, doesn't totally work. So it's a really
a lot of people
interesting
stay
area.
in bad relationships because they're afraid to be in no relationship, and they leave out the possibility of a good relationship. They think that that's so remote, and it's really not.
Yeah.
Do you think it's possible to make a bad relationship a good relationship?
Sure. You can change your, the first thing you do about a bad relationship is figure out, what is my part in this bad relationship? Because once you stop blaming each other and you start to share and communicate and do that, you can turn a lot of things around. You can turn a person around. It's about feeling safe in that environment to share and express and be vulnerable. That's going to lead to all sorts of good things, whether it's on a first date or 10 years into your marriage.
Do you feel like a critical part of that is also developing the self-soothing skills to be able to do that, so that you don't have to continue to blame or project wrong into the other person, so you can see, you know what I mean? I think
absolutely. We want to think, you know, it's not me. It's this. We go to a lot of places and we name every year like the best and worst cities in which to date.
That's interesting. Yeah.
And when we name the best city, which this year was Minneapolis, and I was just there, they were so mad that I said it was the best place. They're like, oh, God.
Yeah, it's our fault.
Then it's me. And when we say some place is the worst place, and sorry, Los Angeles, you're not the worst place, they love it, because then it's like, oh, it's the city.
Yeah.
It's not me.
Right.
It's always you.
It's such a good point. And,
such a great point.
And Drake's got a great line in his song Emotionless, but he's basically talking about how everybody in every city feels like their city is the worst city to date.
Yeah, because it's easier to blame the city, the environment, the atmosphere.
Right.
Take responsibility for whatever your dating situation or dating fate is, and you'll be a lot better off.
Love it.
Yeah.
Tell people where they can find and listen to you.
Go to greatlovedebate.com. We have our final show in Los Angeles this Sunday night at the Hollywood Improv.
Oh, nice.
You'll have a link there to our podcasts. We have the top dating and relationship podcast. We have all sorts of good guests.
I love that it's in a comedy house, because we gotta lighten up a little bit. About
two
the
reasons.
love,
A, it's funny, and B, there's alcohol. It goes the wrong way.
You need both when it comes to love.
Yeah, Hollywood Improv this Sunday night.
Super cool.
Great.
Check it out.
Thanks so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being with us,
Thanks, you
Brian. We appreciate it. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more on Good Morning La La Land.
It's your pleasure, brother.
Thanks.
Hi, this is Roxy with Ceremony. Wait, this is Ceremony by Roxy, sorry. Hi, this is Roxy, and this is Ceremony by Roxy. Hi, this is Roxy, and this is Ceremony by Hi, this is Ceremony by Roxy. I am your host, and this is a show about mindfulness, healing, and living a life with purpose. I keep going, right? Looking forward to watching the rest of your journey and having your beautiful wife on next. I should recut that one. Hold on.
Yeah. Look, you just made your first TV show.
I can't wait to see the bloopers.
Oh, there's plenty of that.
The change is starting happening. It's nope, bad take. Nope. Nope. Oh, sorry, I messed up. I was talking to the guest. It's a little fast. Bet you don't have one of those in your phone. Nope. Andy's like, damn it, I'm doing things over here. Usually I'm a one-hit wonder with my videos, but right now, how many takes are we on, Andy? Woo! Okay. I think it's maybe take 12. Nope. Messed up one word at the end. It's gonna drive me insane. Listen, I've never done so many takes in my life on one video. That was a good one. Good? You like that one? Are we gonna do a blooper reel? Andy's like, you're already on all of them.
Welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. Love yourself and life will shift. I'm so excited to welcome to the show on #FridayFeels, Dr. Sherry Campbell. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm thrilled.
So tell us a little bit about your journey in self-love and how you're teaching that to other people.
So I look at self-love as emotional wealth. And I feel that the greatest human emotional affliction is not feeling good enough. As I sit with 40 people every week in 4 days, I'm really battling against them not feeling good enough, and then they overcompensate in many ways to be what they think other people want them to be, whether it's their partner, their parents. You know, they're getting so far away from themselves. And I wanted my idea of success to be about being emotionally wealthy. And that's what my book's on. And I look out at Kate Spade, who, Fame and Money, she's had it all. I was just on the radio about Ben Affleck. He's back in rehab. You know, Fame and Money isn't doing it. And so we're not loving ourselves well. And people don't want to hear that love is also work. And they want to feel like love is just easy. And so my goal is to teach people that in adult relationships, you're inevitably going to have disappointments. We can't have that unconditional love that we had from the ages of 0 to 2. You know, when it was helpful and necessary. At 2 years old, we start getting conditional love. There's boundaries. You need to get your kids behaving well. And so when we hit those rough points after the first year of being totally in love, people lose their authenticity. They start trying to be something that their partner wants.
Yeah.
The question: If love is conditional, would you still call it love? Is it still love?
I think it's still love. Love is this, it's a feeling, but what people don't want to accept is that being in love requires a lot of forgiveness. It requires that you take care of you for your partner and have your partner take care of him or herself for you. Instead of trading, like, I don't feel this inside, so I need you to give it to me, right? And our partner's going to have flaws, and we want love in this way that we imagine it to have any flaws, and it just does. And to me, we need to learn to love the flaws. In a way, find them endearing about our partner instead of only focusing on the negative.
Well, and I think when you're only focusing on getting that love from that partner, you begin to resent all those little imperfections, and that makes them completely intolerable. It's impossible to love somebody who's snoring and keeping you up at night or doing all these things if you're looking for something from that person. But if you have it all within yourself, then it's like, oh, that's so cute. Maybe a little annoying, but you can love their imperfections rather than resent them.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to be able to tolerate your dog snoring, but not your partner, right?
Totally.
Why is that?
Why is that?
Because we start to want our partner to be what we want them to be, instead of accepting them as a unique, different individual. You're gonna have conflict. Sometimes we can't know what love is until we know what love isn't. You know, we can't know up unless we know down. So to be really good at love, you have to think about the abundance of who you can be. Think about giving. Oftentimes we're like, he didn't do this for me. She didn't do that for me. We're not thinking about giving to our partner as much as we're waiting like, well, they know I need this and they're not doing it.
I think it's an interesting time in history because, you know, maybe hundreds of years ago, we had to survive relying on people and things, and the construct of relationship and family is very different than it is today. You know, and I know for me personally, going from that transition of putting so much on my relationship, they needed to be everything to me, and they needed to be all these expectations around all of it. And I think that, you know, when I started taking that off and just accepting people for who they are and not having so much expectation on all of it, it got lightened. But I think that so many people are still trying to have this person be this partner that the culture's told them, that their parents told them, all these things that we see that are maybe obsolete for a lot of us.
It's like getting Santa Claus, right? I mean, people are human, and we're forgetting that they're human, that we all come from a certain amount of pain in life, and the more toxic your upbringing was, the more challenging it is to find your self-worth on your own. And so you start to bargain for self-worth from your partner. And I do think we do need things from our partner. It's not that self-love makes us needless. Having needs doesn't make us needy. But it's loving yourself enough to say, this is my need, and be vulnerable. Instead of having shame around this need, like, oh, I shouldn't need this, they're gonna think I'm crazy, they're gonna think I'm needy or I'm broken or whatever. We all are a little bit needy and broken. I think we need to get in the ring and be authentic and be vulnerable and see that not as shameful, but to see that as the natural part of getting to the next level of love, is being vulnerable, seeing that as a gift, seeing that as being really open. And you risk when you do that. And people don't want to risk because whatever their brokenness is on the inside, they don't want it triggered. So they stop being authentic.
Absolutely.
Right?
That's why I'll show up like we were speaking with Brian, a little machismo. Because I'll be damned if I'm going to let you get to that broken place and break me.
I get it. I so get it. I've lived it. I've had to recover so much of my own life. I would never want to read a book if someone didn't have a journey into what they're writing. So my success journey is about becoming emotionally wealthy. And the failures and the pains that I've had have been 100% necessary for me to find self-acceptance, to find myself worthy. Because we can be with people and be like, okay, am I good enough? Like, do they like me? Am I pretty enough? Am I this enough? And we can get insecure, and then that wall comes up. Now we're not being authentic, we're being self-protective.
I just love this, and I completely agree with you. I think it's profound insight to share. And would you say that it was your ability to then, beyond and past the broken experiences that you had or the unfortunate experiences that you had, and identify with something that was larger and greater and completely unbroken and whole and perfect? Because that's my experience. My experience is that I was identifying with the brokenness, and therefore I didn't love myself and I couldn't love others very well. When I was able to see through all of that and realize that there was something within me that was greater than all of that, that was perfect and whole already, then I was able to finally love and let people love.
When we're not triggered, we can get to that place. The problem is when we're triggered, we can fall into the hole of a lack of self-worth, and now that whole drawer opens of every experience we've had that has told us that we're not worthy, and we're in that pain. I want to invite my partner into that pain, because that is also an essential part of me that I have to expose if I really want to be loved or feel close. I need to be met in my depth. It takes courage to do that. When I see women, you know, like really leading it hard, I always say, you're not a man. You can be as type A as you want out in the world, but you don't want to do his job for him so he won't fail you.
Oh, that's
right?
interesting.
We want to do their job for them, because sometimes men, they just don't think the same way that we do. And we will call them dumb. They're not dumb. They're not dumb. They just think different. And when you know the mechanics of how they think and how you think, then you can have compassion and help lead them. I think men really want to be in their hearts. They really do. But they're in their heads. So if you go to dinner with a man and you sit across from him, you're having a business meeting. Men go out on a field, shoulder to shoulder. Who do they face?
The enemy.
They face their opponent. So if a woman has dinner across from their man, he is unconsciously ready for war. Sit next to him.
Well, there you have
Then
it.
you can touch him.
Then you'll that couple in the booth.
Yeah, that everyone else wants to be, right?
Just sit at the bar and be a little less awkward.
But it gets in his heart. He'll get in his heart. Because you can touch him, men really prefer touch. You know, you can touch him, you can put your head on him, and he's now the leader. And that's what he wants to do, if you let him. But what women do is we're so afraid of our hurts that we do his job for him as a way to protect ourselves. Now, he can't love us the way we want, because to have him in our depth, we have to be vulnerable. And we can experience vulnerability from like toxic shame, like these are bad parts of me. When we're not triggered, or someone meets us in the depth, then we can go, oh, there was this thing that came in that was magical, and I am a part of that. And now I feel abundant when it comes to love, because you went through the journey. You can't get there without the journey.
What do you think a man or a woman could do so that in order to heal themselves, or at least begin to heal themselves, so that they can begin to do a lot of the great work that you talk about, so that when they meet someone, they can allow someone into the depth without being full of fear about it and protective and defensive.
So I'm a shrink who sees a shrink.
Yes.
As you should.
As I should. Makes me very good at what I do. But being able to practice vulnerability in a safe place is wonderful. And I journal write like crazy, and it's turned into 2 books. I just dropped one in October, and I have a book on toxic family coming out in April. Okay, because we tend to learn if we're lovable or not from who? Our first mirrors. And even if they were great, they weren't perfect because they're human. So I think self-development is your way there, whether it's journal writing, going to therapy, having a mentor, but having your own purpose in this life also makes you less dependent on love to make you happy. So I have a full life. I'm a mommy, I'm a psychologist, I'm an author, I'm here with you guys. This is mine and no one can take it from me. So when I think about losing love, I might lose love, but I don't lose me.
So good. Where can people find and follow you?
So you can do Sherry Campbell, PhD, but I have 100,000 Facebook following, 100,000 people follow me, and that's at Facebook, Sherry Campbell, PhD. And I give free therapy because not everyone can afford it. And so that is my way of giving back.
Thank you for that. We appreciate it.
Really
Stay
appreciate
tuned.
you
We'll be
having
back with
me.
more on Good Morning La La Land.
My name's Erica Dela Cruz, television personality, best-selling author, and founder of Passion to Paycheck, and this is my life. I grew up in a really small town called Los Banos, California, then San Diego State for college. So I started working inside of fashion and television and made my leap to Los Angeles. From there, I wrote a best-selling book called Passionistas, Tips, Tales, and Tweetables from Women Pursuing Their Dreams. Also met the love of my life who proposed publicly. ABC, The Knot, and Pop Sugar picked it up. Thank you, baby. That all led to the conference Passion to Paycheck, which is now a talk show here on the Focus TV network. My purpose here with Passion to Paycheck is to bring transparent, vulnerable conversation not only to your TV screens and your digital platforms, but to society as a whole. And this is my life.
Hello, I'm Ross Matthews, television personality, and this is my life. I grew up in a little teeny tiny little farm town called Mount Vernon, Washington, which was difficult because I'm like a gay cartoon version of a person. But I always loved showbiz and Hollywood. And so 30 seconds after I graduated high school, I got in my car and I drove to Hollywood. And then I got an internship on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno and they put me on the air. And I've been making it work now on TV for almost 20 years. Can you believe that? I've interviewed everybody from Meryl Streep to Michelle Obama and Donald Trump. It's a dream life, and I'm grateful every single day. Let's see if I can fool them for 20 more. This is my life.
Welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. I am so excited to welcome our next guest. He is the host of Harry Howard Talks. He is a great friend and family member of the Focus family, and he's a hilarious stand-up comedian, Harry Howard.
Yes,
Good show, brother.
Yes.
Look at that outfit.
I know, looking fresh, brother.
Yeah, I feel like we can hang out. We just hang out on the air. That's what we do. It's easier to make plans on the air.
It is.
Than in real life.
It is.
We've been trying for weeks.
So I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna come on your show so I can say what's up.
True, actually.
Well, thank you for being on our show. Thank you for having us on your show, Harry Howard Talks.
Oh,
We
yeah.
Pod Crash with Harry Howard.
Then there was Harry and Kelly.
Then there was Harry and Kelly. Speaking of which, that was my first day at Focus TV. It's been 1 year. It's our Focus anniversary.
Wow.
And we have a clip from
We're
that
celebrating
episode.
our anniversary right now.
Let's take a look. I'm Jasmine Moyer, and I couldn't be more excited to be a part of the first episode of #Harry and Kelly on Focus TV. We're talking life on Hollywood, drinking a little spa girl, and having a great time. Stay tuned for more on Focus TV.
Hey
Hey guys, welcome to
Hashtag Harry and Kelly. Tag us on every social media device that you own, because right now it is the premiere episode
of our show.
It's so exciting.
This is so fun.
Where we interview people who influence the media and have an impact on entertainment.
Yes, welcome. Our first guest, so excited to have you.
Thank you, Erin. Congratulations on your first episode, you guys. This is so exciting.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. And you are the red carpet expert.
You are the star here.
You are.
Okay, so I have to admit, you guys, this is a little weird for me. I'm used to asking the questions.
I love that.
Not answering them. So this is a very
We're
weird
gonna ask
dynamic.
you all the questions.
I'm excited for the opportunities that are going to keep happening. The opportunity to be here on the show with you guys.
I know, it's cool.
And
I'm so happy you're here.
To continue to interview some
Yeah.
amazing people, see some amazing stories. I've got various different show concepts and in different stages of development that I'm working on personally along Fab TV and developing some of those projects. So hopefully I will have my own show.
Well, if it makes you feel good, the people that we have on our show, we make sure that they're doing something to contribute to media, and I think you are on your way to your own show.
It's hilarious. You could tell I was like you could tell I was still learning then, you know?
How is that for some manifesting, though?
Oh yeah, I know, right? I saw the future, I actually knew it.
Hey, tell us about your intuition, Harry. Are you a little psychic?
Yeah, well, I always saw you as a wonderful news anchor.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
There's an Emmy and an Oscar in my future, right?
Oh, for sure.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Great.
daytime, nighttime Emmy, both. Afternoon Emmy.
It's Psychic Hour with Harry.
You're like the new female Deepak Chopra.
All right.
Yeah,
Don't
you
accept
are.
that.
With
Receive
like
that.
this cool style. I love your bracelets always. I just like look at your wrist before I see you. Yeah.
Love it.
And Rob Mack is this influencer guru.
There we go. I'll accept that. I'll receive that.
Celebrities and muggles achieve enlightenment. Mostly celebs though.
Awesome. Love that. So what's good and new with you, Harry?
So I have Harry Howard Talks, and it's awesome. I feel like what I love about having my own show is all this creative control that I get to have, and I'm just in charge of all the guests and everything, and just releasing it, and I really get to just be as humanly creative as possible with my editing now. It's the only show that I'm working on, so I'm really focused with that, and it makes it less cluttered, because I had the podcast, I took a break from that, so now I have Harry Howard Talks, and it's been really awesome, and I'm really grateful that I've been able to get to this point in my life where I have my own show on like this network, and just a year ago, I just started here, and I'm still here now, so it's awesome to be maintaining and continuing to grow something and being dedicated. It's really easy after 3 months to be like, I'm doing this now, but to just keep the ball rolling.
The consistency
Keep the
is
ball
one
rolling.
of the things we've witnessed of 600 plus guests is that consistency, authenticity, and you have this ability. You just have this. I think your laughter is like the most contagious thing.
It really is.
It really is. You just walk in the room and it just gets better.
Yeah, people have to go to anonymous meetings after I'm laughing. They do that.
Traumatize them.
But one thing
Why doesn't he cry?
that is absolutely consistent about your show, Harry, is that you have a great time with some of your guests. Who have been some of the most memorable guests that you've had on recently?
Oh, well, I had this guy Jamal Moore. I got a beatbox with him, and he sang, and he was on NBC's Sing Off, and he made it to the championship, the final round. So yeah, that was awesome, being able to collaborate with talented people and do music as well, because I beatbox. I have a lot of celebrity guests now. I mostly search people who are really prominent influencers and entertaining. So I'm really grateful that I get to meet 2 new people every week who are doing incredible things in the social media world.
It's got to be pretty inspiring, right?
It's super inspiring, yeah, because it's like, how'd you get 200,000 followers? What did you do? Do that? You don't even have a bikini photo on your page. How'd you do that? Right? I need to show my 6-pack more, my 4.5-pack. I'll get 10,000 more followers maybe. I don't know how they did it, but they did it, so.
Well, and we know you're also foraying into stand-up comedy, right?
Yeah. I've recently started getting right back into that. I think it's really fun. Even though I seem really bright and happy, I also have this dark edge to me, and I really like to explore that through comedy. So.
Why is that with comedians, that they fuel their humor with the darkness?
I think there is a part of them where there's a void, and I think I have this incredible void missing in my brain. It's not like that, but there's definitely something that makes them have to get on stage and share what's going on with their lives. There's something that's missing inside that they're trying to achieve. I think that's where it comes to. Comedy is a source of pain, and I'm not saying I'm in pain where I have an ice pack on me and a brain, or like, it's not like that. I'm a happy person, but inside there's a lot of stuff that I want to share, and it's the best place to do it because you get to make fun of it.
It's like a process for you.
It's
You're
therapeutic.
processing therapeutic.
It
sure,
is.
right?
Yeah, it is. Exactly.
Is that when you're happiest, when you're on stage? When are you happiest? What do you love most about your work?
I love this, when the camera is on or just I'm filming something, that's when I'm happiest, because I get to live this life that I dream that I can live, and be this person that I dream I can live. You get to be the best version of yourself. No matter how, like, if you get a girl who breaks up with you, or you got a lot of tumultuous stuff going on in your life, or you're sick or whatever, when you're filming, you forget about that, and you get to be the best version of yourself. So I think.
So speaking of,
it's interesting.
Right?
The great love debate. What is you? How do you define love?
That is a very interesting question, because I was dealing with that for the past couple months. I define love, I would say, when you're willing to give yourself to your partner before yourself, but your partner is willing to give back to you before herself.
I love that.
I think the other person comes first when you're really in love, and that's a sacrifice, but love is a sacrifice.
They call it devotional. It's an actual spiritual practice.
Yeah.
Put that person in front of yourself.
I think there's a lot of people in the entertainment community, there's a high divorce rate because their careers are always coming first, and it's tough to make it in this business if your career doesn't come first. So I guess
You're saying we're gonna be single forever.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. It's
Success
tough.
or
What
what?
happens if I fall in love with this girl? We have a kid, and then I have to film 6 months in New Zealand. She can't bring the kid to New Zealand up like a hiking trail. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
And
it's.
we're like married to our careers. It's or missions or whatever you want to call it from people, for sure.
Yeah.
Great insight from the comedian.
I know, right? Yeah, I know.
You're full of wisdom.
I learned from you guys, like Ivy League therapy from
Appreciate that. But
Great. We love and adore you.
we do.
Oh, I know. I love hanging out with you guys all the time.
Gotta come back on the show and hang out.
That's how we hang out. You're like, yeah, I'm just gonna go kick it on the air. That's what I'm saying.
So tell everyone where they can find and follow your journey.
You can follow my journey at FocusTVNetwork.com/Harry Howard Talks. My Instagram, Harry Howard. The O is a 0, not because I am a 0, because someone else took Harry Howard, and that's what it is.
Honesty. Your greatest qualities, Harry.
Yeah. And you can also find me just in life.
When's your next show?
In real life,
When's your next stand-up show?
Oh, my next stand-up show, it's random. I'll go randomly. I might go tonight. It's open mics. I haven't reached the level where they're like, we want you to, but where I'm not booked yet, because I took time off from it, which I shouldn't have, but I did. But I'm going back into it because I feel like I'm getting really great. And Ren Woods, who also has a show here, has really inspired me to get back into it because she's a hustler.
She is a hustler.
She's a
And you
hustler.
are a hustler, Harry, and you
We
are
are.
wildly talented. Thank you for sharing your time and your laughter
thank
with
you.
us.
Thank you so much.
We love
Thank
you.
you.
Happy anniversary, Harry.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
I know, right? It's an
Stay
anniversary.
tuned. We'll
You
be
see,
back with more. Good
we
morning,
have love.
LALALAND.
Love, that's all.
Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. So make the best of this test and don't ask why. It's not a question but a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. So take the photographs and still frames in your mind, hanging on a shelf in good health and good time. Tattoos and memories and dead skin on trial. For what it's worth, it was worth all the while. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life.
Next Generation Beauty is in the house. Reka, the creator of Reka Beauty and the world's first turmeric peel-off mask. I am so excited about this. Nothing speaks more like self-love than self-care to me, right?
Yes. Turmeric has been kind of all over the place the last couple years or so, and I didn't realize how many people have so much inflammation. So it's like kind of a new thing in the world that turmeric is you're supposed to take it, put it on the outside, eat it, everything, and it's supposed to help with inflammation. Is that what it does?
It does. It has a tremendous amount of different properties. So not only is it great for inflammation, but it just helps cure like diseases and different things like that. And I think that's the main reason why a lot of people are now internally taking that. But a lot of people don't realize that's great for your skin as well. It helps you glow. So turmeric has been used in Asia for like ages, right? And I mean, it's just now trending here, but it's usually like they just put hints of it in a lot of products. And I don't feel like you get the full, benefits. So I wanted to create like a turmeric line that's dedicated to that spice.
It's all about loving our
yeah, because you have to love how you look, and then you feel confident, and then when you love yourself, you can.
And it's completely guilt-free because it's all plant-based, right?
Yeah.
Wow. So everything is derived from Ayurvedic medicine.
Ayurvedic, yes.
So can you explain to us what that is?
So Ayurveda has been like this ancient science that's been used just for centuries, where it's, so you have 3 doshas, right? Everyone is like either a kapha, pitta, or a vata. And so what it is everyone can, I guess, ingest certain things, and then they're not going to be allergic to it or whatever. It's better for you. And then there is a combination, so like combination skin, like tridosha is when there's like turmeric, which is going to balance everything out. So Ayurveda is just really about being completely natural. Like, for example, nowadays everything's organic, but what is really organic? If you are, I'm trying to figure out how to explain this.
That's okay.
It's so complicated because it's really hard these days, because when people think organic, they're thinking like, oh, this is just great and it's perfectly natural, but where is it being planted? Like this plant, is that dirt organic, or is it something that it's already been fertilized and whatever, and then you're just, putting something in it? So like Ayurveda goes one step beyond that by, like a chicken. They eat worms, right? But if you're feeding it just grass and you put it in an area which is grass, is that really organic?
Right.
Like it's not.
There are a lot of factors and a lot of questions, but you've mastered it, and you've got 3 great products with us. You've got this illuminating turmeric polish, a foaming face scrub, right? And the mask itself. Very, very cool. Tell us a little bit about them.
So the turmeric, as you were saying, it's the first and only turmeric peel-off mask. And unlike other peels, it does not have any alcohol content. So it's not going to dry out your skin. It's going to be very, very gentle. Ayurveda takes you back to very simplistic, just basic,
like that.
ways of taking care of yourself.
So tell people where they can find it, how they can use it. Do they use it every day? What do they do?
Cleansers you can use every day. It's very gentle, and it's great to kind of cleanse your pores, detox, all that good stuff. If you're eating really healthy, you should also take care of your skin, because it goes hand in hand. So you can use the cleansers every day. And then this I would use maybe once every 2 weeks to every 3 weeks. It's just good to take out all that dirt.
Oh, so amazing. Okay, well, tell people where they can find and follow you.
So everyone can find me on my social media at Reka Beauty, all across the board. All of them is the same thing. And then our website, rekabeauty.com.
Oh, well, thank you so much for all the work and sharing this wonderful product with us. Check her out at Reka Beauty, and we'll be back with more. Good morning, LaLaLand.
Thank you.
This is my life. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. Very tough and challenging upbringing, but through basketball, I stayed focused. I did well in school, went to college, graduated from Hampton University, moved straight to LA, one-way ticket, where I figured everything out. I trained, I motivate, I worked several jobs, and I happened to get casted at the age of 29 on The Bachelorette, season 13, Rachel Lindsay. And that's when I fell in love for the first time in my life on national TV. And it changed everything. My dreams came true. I got a podcast, I traveled the world, and everything has just been flourish and amazing. And yeah, I'm a Harry Digger, and this is my life.
Buenos dias, Los Angeles. My name is Dr. Brian Abasolo. I am a doctor of chiropractic, and this is my life. So I was born and raised in Miami. My parents are both Colombian. I decided to get into the health field, the natural health field, and become a doctor of chiropractic. At 37 years old, I had the opportunity to be casted onto the show The Bachelorette on ABC, where I eventually met the love of my life and my current fiancée, Rachel Lindsay. And together we have decided to use our platform to spread love and health and motivation to the masses, to make your body feel good, look good, and have it function at an all-time high. And this is my life.
Unifying the world of commerce and making it shoppable. Susan, the founder of MCAR, is with us. I am so excited about this because we all love shopping.
Yes.
We sure do.
That's the only experience that you never quit.
That's a good point.
Yes.
You shop your whole life.
You quit exercising, you quit love, you quit dating,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But you
shopping.
never quit shopping.
It's true.
It really
It's
doesn't
therapy
matter how
for
sad
some.
or happy you are.
Yes.
It's definitely a devotion for
Yes.
sure.
Yes. Makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So tell us about your platform. How do you interact? How do you help people interact with shopping?
We're making the world shoppable. Do you remember that green Versace dress of J-Lo in Grammy 2000?
Of course.
Who can forget that?
Exactly. That actually the CEO of Google confessed that they started thinking and working on Google search because of that dress and the volume of search inquiries who was coming to Google searching for J-Lo green dress in Grammy 2000. So, but when you look at the experience, you see that the content has a strong emotional connection creates an emotional connection between consumers and products. But all you can do, or all you're able to do, is going to Google or Amazon and search for that long tail keyword. This is not an efficient experience. You should be able to buy from that content right there.
So you mean I could watch something and then just buy it without Googling it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you want me to show the experience?
Yes. Yeah. So what is this? What's happening?
This is the M card that our marketing team, our customers, FXG, FX Group is an agency behind the red carpet shows in the United States. And this was a red carpet show that you guys were attending.
Yeah, we did.
And our marketing team created that. Actually, I encourage your viewers to scan that QR code. If you can zoom it, it's better. But if
that
you can,
is so cool.
If you can zoom it, you see, I scanned it with my camera. Just make your iPhone camera. Yeah, zoom to that like this.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
So then they can buy like my dress.
Well, this is too far. But anyway, yeah, all the outfits that you have
are right on there.
Are in here.
And you can just click and then purchase.
You can find similar ones. That
Yes.
you want.
Someone created an M card in the matter of honestly 5 minutes. I asked the marketing team to contact our customers and ask them for that picture to create an M card.
Wow.
And then they did. And now your viewers can scan off of that screen and buy those products right there.
Wow.
However, it gets better because when you go to each product, you see the coupons relevant to those that specific.
I want to see the dress that they picked up that's mine.
I know. Sorry, it might not be. You might not be happy because you know it might be something similar. We didn't know.
Pull it up because that's a dress from a secondhand designer store, right? So how do they pull? And that's so fascinating.
However,
similar one.
Right?
That's what's amazing.
Yeah, but we have the inventory of Walmart to Neiman Marcus of the world. So it's a huge inventory. 90% of the U.S. retail sales today is still happening in brick and mortar. Only 5% of it is in Amazon. So if you go and search Amazon, you don't have that many choices. But if that's what we did, we're unifying the inventory of all of these big retailers into one inventory, and we're giving our software to media companies to start their own Amazon.
Wow.
Plus Pinterest and plus Uber for retail.
So you're going to be
sites.
an official Good Morning LALALAND.
Shoppable
experience.
You guys need to, every time that you have a show, you should do an M card and put that QR code under there, because now you know where you bought your dresses. It's easier than our people to go and find similar stuff in there, right?
Do we get a cut of that?
Oh, that's the whole purpose. You're influencing people to buy your outfit.
This
is a curated.
This is your retirement coming up, right?
Exactly. That's what
Honestly, this is curated content.
Confirming.
You have spent time to put that content together.
Give me that
your outfit is a content.
Whatever the hell it's called.
Right?
So, love this. Absolutely love this. What's been the most challenging part about starting and sort of developing the business?
8 years of my life.
Yeah.
I started, everything started with my research in Stanford School of Business. I went to school at age 40. So I was not that young, but still restless. So I went back to school when I had a 3-year-old daughter, and happily ever after married. And the first week of the school, I realized, oh my God, my closet hasn't been configured for student life. I'm always overdressed showing up to the class because I exited 2 companies. I was an entrepreneur before going to school. I was not that young. So I went online to buy some jeans and cheap t-shirts and stuff. I don't know what happened, but I ended up buying 7 pairs of jeans. And after that, it became my nightmare because those cheap jeans were chasing me, following me everywhere I was going. Like in my browsers, my email, mail. I don't want to buy cheap jeans anymore. I'm good for the whole entire program, 7 pairs of jeans. But they were following me for the entire time of the program. And then I realized this is not efficient. I hate push advertising. I hate people shadowing me. I hate these companies targeting me and spamming me with the information that I don't have bandwidth or interest to process. So how we can change this? Why is still push advertising? And when I look at the retailers and advertisers' life, you're hearing from Google research 6 months ago that 60% of the advertising dollars actually gets flushed down the toilet, right? So 60% of the advertising, $20 billion bot-generated click-through. The banner ads you see everywhere, there are robots sitting somewhere in the world clicking on them, and advertisers are paying for that. These phony metrics, I mean, I hated it. My parents in Iran in 60s started maybe the first advertising agency in Iran. And I was looking at these advertising models that they're targeting and retargeting and shadowing people. And I thought they're not that different with my parents' times advertising, get it or regret it type of advertising. Someone needs to change them. So I thought that what is really interesting here that I can bring to the world of advertising and shopping and commerce? Content. And I used to be a journalist. So I thought that content is still a king that you can't sell, but still can sell.
So what you're saying is that, so what you're saying is, so someone who can get the code and they don't pay for advertising, they just put the code on. When there's a sale, then it goes.
We track every M cart is a shopping cart, right? You see these silo shopping carts when you go online and you finish your shopping, you check out and they're gone? You spend time on creating that content. So we allow you to carry your personal shopping cart everywhere into 1,200 stores that today we're supporting by the end of 2019, right? Walmart to Neiman Marcus of the world. Put your item in your shopping cart, and when you wanna, you can check out or not, but the cart has a unique ID and gives you all the tools that you need to promote it. Link, widgets, QR code, anything that you need. And forever, that M card, wherever it goes, to Facebook, Instagram, video, YouTube, Hollywood, Vogue magazine, anywhere that it goes, we're tracking that sales for you, and we deposit the commission in your digital wallet.
It's brilliant. Brilliant.
Wow.
User-generated advertising for this for a long time. A long time.
8 years of my life, 7 years of my team. We have 5 PhD of computer science in our team. Over 50 developers work on that, and we have over 160 API engines behind that. And my PR director told me that please don't use these terminologies, but I want to give you an example. Some of these social media, for example, like Instagram or whatever, if you look at them, they may have 40 API engines, right? So it's a huge, huge platform because we're really practically closing the gap between online and offline shopping, sales, and advertising. So we're bringing media and commerce together, product and content together. We allow these media companies who are actually today working for Amazon and Google because they're creating content that impress people and create that impression, but then they hand over that potential revenue to search in Amazon and Google. And people, and now they can actually make money out of that content.
Wow. You're looking at you're shopping the future right now.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Susan. Tell everyone where they can find and follow or create their cart.
Yeah. Go to mcart.io, our main website. We have one pilot marketplace right now for our first customer. As I said, they are the agency behind a major red carpet shows in the United States. But we're talking to, I can't say, I wish I could say, many media companies right now, the Fortune 50 companies, and probably by 2019 there are at least 20 of these marketplaces out there. But you don't care. You just scan the QR code. We take you to the right marketplace, right shopping cart, right influencers, and we do everything on blockchain, tracking, payments, you know, distribution of the commission between levels of influencers and all of that. We do all of that. All you need to do is creating a shopping cart, but don't throw it away after checkout. Keep it and use it and monetize your content with that. Your beautiful outfit can make money for the next 200 years.
Boom.
Our video is in YouTube.
Wow, we love it. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us. We're super excited about it. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more on Good Morning La La Land.
Thank you.
We'll have to figure out how to make money.
We are the Mouseketeers, and we proudly wear our ears. We mousin', we be mousin', M-I-C-K-E-Y-M-O-U-S-E, Club Mickey Mouse. Good morning, La La Land.
Hello, viewers. Welcome back to Good Morning La La Land.
Yes, you're singing us in.
And I'm a singer.
Singing us in. I love it.
Singing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Right? Friday Feel. So the question I think that at least I have for each of you today is, what do you most love about your life currently? I know that for me, just sort of being clear about that and savoring that and reminding myself of what I most love about my life has been so helpful and just kind of keeping me focused on happiness and peace and love. But for each of you, what do you most love about your life or your work right now?
I really love just the idea that I have this purpose where I went through a journey to find my own worth, and I've lived it so it's real and authentic, and I get to impart that to other people, you know, and focus on something other than me. But I'm not going to waste my pain and do nothing with it or sit in it. I'm going to use it, and hopefully that benefits the other.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's a tough one, because if you ask this question from my family, they said, "Oh, her life is work." I mean, really, they are my life. But I love working, and I'm enjoying every moment of my day. And it's mainly 15 hours a day working, but because I love what I'm doing and I'm feeling that I'm, you know, just like making an objective, leaving a legacy, every moment of it is just amazing. And
incredible.
I'm enjoying my work.
Incredible.
And my team.
Yes.
My team is amazing. And we're having fun.
Fantastic. Love it.
And to piggyback off of what she said, I love,
line.
No, it's fine. So yeah, I love what I'm doing right now, and it's just knowing that I'm experiencing new things, and just it's a journey, but that journey is so exciting, and I get to just wake up and do it every day, you know. So I think that's just being excited about something.
So
It's
great.
really
Love what
important,
you do. Absolutely.
Get to have fun and everything. So.
Two things, the possibilities that every day can bring or may bring, no matter what I'm doing or where I am, and no regrets. Can't look backwards, always got to look forwards.
Absolutely. Harry, about you?
What about you, Harry?
Can't leave you out there, buddy.
I just love being able to have the opportunity to film all the time and make people laugh and kick it with the friends at Good Morning LaLaLand.
There you go.
Because you guys didn't.
We're a bunch of workaholics.
Yeah, we are. That's
married to our work.
Yeah.
But we love what we do. That is not
Work comes
on
first.
debate.
It doesn't. Yes, it does. It does.
We are Good Morning LaLaLand, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. And you can listen to all your favorite interviews available to podcasts on iTunes.
We're working out the world together. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and follow these extraordinary people.
It's going to be a good morning, LaLaLand.